everyone, I'm Sofi Morales and this is Sofi's Tips. If this is the first time you're watching this channel, Sofi's Tips is all about kitchen appliances. We do unboxings, reviews, how-to videos, recipes, everything that you need to make the most of those kitchen appliances that you have at home. And if for some reason you still haven't decided which one is the right for you, in this channel we'll also help you decide. Today, I'm very excited to try for the first time the Vitamix Model 5200. It caught my eye. I bought it on Amazon because of its large capacity and because of the fact it is recommended for professional use. I've never used a blender that is recommended for professional use, so it gets me really excited and very thrilled to do the unboxing, and we're gonna do a test to see how the results are. If this really gives you professional results. I have tried other blenders before, so I can tell you if it gives you a better result or not. Let's get started. But before we do, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you think these videos will help you. Normally, we would talk about the box. It gives you information about what the features of the appliance is. In this case, there's not a lot to say. The box, it's basically a box with the brand on it. That's it. So we're gonna talk about the features when we open the actual blender and we see what the motor base has, its features and buttons and switches and everything. So let's open the box without further ado. This is everything that comes in the box. We have the motor base. We have the 64-ounce container. It is pretty tall. We have the tamper and its documents. So it comes with a quick start guide and a user manual. We have something else inside here. Let's take a look. This is basically a register your product card and some safety concerns that we have to read. My first impression is that it is very big, and once you put it on the base, it is so tall, so tall. It's 8 cups, 64 ounces, 2 liters. And I was reading online that part of the things that they do is this is taller than other Vitamixes because the shape of the container will help us have a better blend. I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll see about that. Another thing that I want to mention before we start is that the container is not dishwasher safe. So that's one of the things that I was not very thrilled about that. But I've tried other Vitamixes and I always have troubles with the top, the lid. And in this case, it's kind of rubberish, so it's very flexible. I can see how this is gonna be easier to just put on top and that's it. And from what I can see, we have metal right here in the motor, so that's a good thing with blenders. It gives you better results and it also gives you toughness and it's gonna be more reliable, more resistant. And inside we have stainless steel. Let me show you, let me take the lid off to show you. Stainless steel in the blades. That's very cool as well. They're very sharp. They're gonna give very good results. Before using it, I wanna take a look at the control panel first. So we have 2 switches and 1 knob. The first switch is the on and off switch. Then we have the 10 different speeds that we can control with this knob. And then this other switch, if we put it at the top, it gives us the highest speed available. And then if we switch it to the bottom, is the variable speed function. So it's gonna give us the different levels right here. One of the safety concerns that we talk about according to the user manual is that we have to make sure that before we turn it on, this switch has to be at variable and your knob has to be in the lowest speed. One cool thing that I just noticed that I wanted to show you is, look at this. Where's the cable? This is very neat, tidy. You don't see the cable anywhere. It's right at the bottom. This is a flexible plastic, so you can just pull away the cord. Very nice. And you normally don't see this in household appliances. It is a very long cord. A very long cord. It is so long that I want to know how long it is, so I'll be right back. Almost 6 feet long. That's a very long cord for a blender. That's very exciting. I mean, I know that for other households, it might be not a big deal, but for me, I can put it right here in the middle, and I'm able to use the cord all the way over here. Now we're gonna clean everything for the first use. The blender is clean and ready for our first smoothie. I bought this one-step smoothie to make things quicker. Basically, it has all of the ingredients packed into little cubes of ice. So we're gonna do that. Anytime that you're gonna add things to a blender, I recommend you take it off of the base, just for safety reasons. According to this is for 4 smoothies. So I add them all here. They fit perfectly. Let's see, we need, it just says per liquid. So let's do that. I chose almond milk for my smoothie. It says you can use any liquid that you like. So I added just a little bit of liquid to see how it actually blends. So kind of trying out the power of the blender. It was very easy to close. Very easy in comparison to other Vitamix that I have used before. And to put the container on top of the motor, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to twist or anything. It's very simple. You just put it in. That's it. It doesn't need any lock or anything. Very easy. Plug it in. Make sure that your first switch is at the bottom where it says variable, lowest level. And I'm gonna blend it for about maybe 45 seconds to a minute. I'm just gonna see how this works. Once I start it, I'm gonna move the knob to maybe about an 8 or 9 or even a 10 because this is ice. I'm just gonna try to see what it needs. So let's start from there. The first experiment. Some of the takeaways that I can tell you is when you use ice, it's probably gonna need for you to use the temper to help kind of push the things and help a little bit with the movement. I started with the lowest level, and since I saw that nothing really moved from the ice cubes, I kind of went to a higher speed, and I realized that the 10 was not enough, so I turned the knob, the actual switch from variable to high. So I did have to use the high function for the smoothie. After I realized that it was not gonna do it on its own, I used the temper, and it was pretty quick after that. So I haven't opened it yet, but from what I can feel when I move the temper, the smoothie looks ready. So let's take a look. Very nice, a uniform color. Let me just put this in a glass so you can see. I think it's a very uniform blend. As I was pouring it, I can tell you it is the texture that you like, or at least what I like for a smoothie. I normally do the straw test, I call it, where if it holds, it means that it is sufficiently thick. So we have a thick smoothie, we have a smooth smoothie, which is very important. And let me just give it a sip to take a look at the texture in my mouth. Super soft and still cold. So one of the things that this Vitamix does is because of the friction and the speed, you can actually heat your preparations. So it doesn't cook, but it can heat your soup. If you have it from the fridge or even a can, you just pour it, and with the speed, it kind of gives it the temperature ready to eat. So you kind of have to be careful with that function, because if you want to do preparations that you want them cold or at least a little bit warm, not actually hot, you have to make sure that you do it just a few seconds. You don't want to go over a couple of minutes because it actually gives you that hot result. Another thing that I realized when I was pouring it is that it has in the handle this soft grip. It is silicone, the same material that you have in the lid. The lid was beautiful. It was not hard to use at all. You can put it in and out very easily. My first test with this Vitamix, I can feel it is a success. So far, it gives me a very good first impression. One last thing I want to do before we close is I want to show you the self-clean function. This Vitamix gives you that feature of having a self-clean function, which is not actually that it cleans itself, you have to do it, but it is easier than other, well, I'm guessing you can do it in any blender, but it just gives you that option. What you have to do is basically you emptied it, you put water, some drops of dish soap, and you turn it on for about 30 to 45 seconds, and it's clean, at least according to the instructions. I don't recommend filling it to the max level. You want to do a little bit before that. What I like to do is I'll just put the accessories at the bottom of the sink, and then I'll pour all the liquid, the soap and the water and everything on top, and now we just rinse it. The Vitamix is clean. It's very simple to do, and I know they feature it as a function for this specific model, but you can do it in any blender. Any blender, it doesn't matter the brand, it doesn't matter if it's a high speed or not, you can just do that, and it will help you at least to get a little bit of the preparation, any food that you're preparing that sticks off the blender with the speed. Here you have it, the Vitamix 5200. I'm gonna start with the things that I liked and why I recommend this blender. It's a heavy duty blender. You can feel it from the weight, you can feel it from the speed, all the controls, everything. It feels tough. It feels like it will last a long time. At least that's what I feel. So if you have a small business, maybe a coffee shop or something, I can see this working perfectly. Even if you have a restaurant and you're doing soups, I think it will help you. The other thing I like is the capacity. It's a very large blender. We're talking about 64 ounces. That's a lot. That's a big blender. And the lid. A lot of the Vitamix have a different type of lid, either a solid plastic or a transparent plastic that is harder to put on and clip. This one was very easy. So if you're at a high pace place like a restaurant, you can quickly just put it on and you don't have to be struggling with the tabs. The cord was another thing that I enjoyed, just the fact that I can put my blender right in the middle for you guys and I don't have to be struggling with the cord or if I need an extension or not. That was good. And the result of the blend, it was a very nice smoothie. This has excellent results. Another cool thing is that it is compatible with the Vitamix steel container. So if you like using the steel container, this is also a great match. Now that we've talked about everything that is cool about this blender, I mean, it's a Vitamix, let's talk about the downsides or what I missed about other features that could make it better. The first thing is the size. It is tall. It gives you a benefit of how it moves inside with the blades and the fact that it is tall. But this, for a kitchen, might be a problem if you don't have the space to save it. It is very tall, so that can be a downside. Another thing that I think could make it better is to have a pulse function. So somewhere in here, instead of having maybe this part at the bottom, make it pulse. And there's no programs. There's nothing to guide you of how much time is it blending. Am I preparing this right? Is it the right texture? You kind of have to look at it and say, well, this might be ready. Maybe somewhere in here, a program that says smoothie or a program that says soup or chop or something like that that gives you an idea of how long to actually prepare your food inside here. Or if you have the recipe, a timer would be good. So something here, a display or something telling you, you have been blending for 30 seconds or for a minute or something that gives you that idea of, am I doing this right? Is it too long? Other than that, it's a really cool product. Tell me in the comments, do you like this blender? Do you want me to compare it to another blender? Do you want me to do an experiment with this blender? I love reading your comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. If you want to see more recipes, more unboxings, it really helps us in the channel if you subscribe. It's totally free and it helps us to keep showing you more unboxings and more appliances. And just let me know. I do have another unboxing for another Vitamix. If you're looking for those features that I just mentioned about the timer, about the size and everything, you can look at the Vitamix Ventures Pro. So I'm gonna leave that video at the end of this video. And see you next time. Ciao!